What's up, NFL fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and don't forget to check out and purchase your copy of our latest football game plan book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. We have these available in both PDF and paperback form.
Welcome to Football Game Plans Talking with TD. I'm your host, Teron Davenport.
All right, another edition of Talking with TD. Folks, you know I always bring in guys that have a game that I like. You know, guys who I like the way they play. I like versatile guys. And what we're going to do is bring in Utah. I'm going to call him a DB because he could play corner or safety, whichever you want him to do. But we're going to bring in Eric Rowe out of Utah. Eric, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. So I wanted to just take a second and talk a little bit about your game, what you bring to the table. Versatility is something that is so valuable on NFL rosters. You know, they want a guy that could fill a few roster spots. And a guy like you you're somebody that will be appealing to a lot of personnel folks. So talk a little bit about your game, you know, how you could play safety or play corner.
As far as safety wise, I played in my whole high school career. You know, first 3 years of safety, so I have experience at safety. I believe I have good range, physicality, and then now added with the coverage. Just continuing to be a safety. You know, I'm all down for it. And as far as corner, I feel like I bring the size to the corner position, the more long, big body corners. I guess that the teams are looking for nowadays, and especially with a year experience under the Pac-12 or Pac-12 league, I feel like I can bring that to the table to whichever team wants to pick me up.
Yeah, I would definitely imagine in the Pac-12, you're no stranger to having to get into coverage. All the guys that you had to face, whether it's Jalen Strong, Ty Montgomery, Brandon Cooks over the years. So definitely different guys that you had to go against. At the Senior Bowl, the first practice, they put you at safety. What's some of the feedback that you're getting from personnel folks? Or do they want to see you more at safety, or are they looking at you at corner as well?
I'm not sure the reason was to put me at safety because it caught me on surprise too, because I was listed as a corner. I think the reason why I was at safety too because when we split up the teams, they didn't have as many safeties like depth-wise, so they played me there. But I feel like I got my corner work in with the one-on-ones and on the outside, and I had a couple reps during practice, so it wasn't a big deal to me.
Right, because you could play both of them. So being somebody who has played both positions, a lot of people don't understand how you see the field differently when you're playing safety than when you're playing corner. Can you kind of touch on that, on just the different viewpoints, the different way of looking at the game and how plays develop from the corner to safety position?
Oh, yeah. From the safety, you get to view the whole formation, left and right, and as plays develop, you really have to use your peripheral vision because obviously you can't get your eyes on all the routes. So you got to have good peripheral vision. It's just a run play. You know, you can fill in middle, left or right. And as a corner, your mindset kind of has to change because you only have half of the field, so you have to use the sideline as your help. As far as the run, you're rarely involved in, unless it's coming to your side or unless there's some scheme where you're involved in a run game. But most times, coaches have corners involved in pass games. But just seeing half the field and you don't see the whole formation and as plays develop, it's just a whole other mindset that you can't just go left and right. Not everybody should go straight to the corner and just click there.
I'm glad you mentioned that because so many times people say, okay, well, we'll just take a slow DB or slow corner and we'll put him at safety and everything will be fine. And people seem to think that is just like playing Madden. You know, you could just take a guy and change position and his attributes should transfer over. So I'm glad you touched on just how the two positions are so different. Now, as a corner, one of the things that you say, you really like to get the physical aspect of the game into it. as far as like getting a good punch on the receivers and things like that. Can you kind of take me through the process of when you're at the line of scrimmage and you're going against a receiver?
Usually what I do, if it's a man call, in our scheme, inside shape, so I'm just like slightly on maybe face mask to his shoulder, not too far inside. Then as the play develops, I keep my eyes on his hip because, he's going to come off trying to juke or shake, and eventually he has to break inside or outside. And whichever way he commits, I make sure to get my hand right in his chest, get a good punch, slow him down or flatten him out. And it allows me to stay lateral and square with the receiver. The longer I can stay lateral, the better I can shut down the route. And then after he's got the run with him, I keep my eyes on the hips and just be ready to break down when he breaks down.
So talk a little bit about the challenge. As a corner, especially in man schemes, you're more or less on an island. Obviously, everybody knows about Revis Island. That's the most popular island. But just talk about being on that island as a corner and just, what the mindset is to be able to dominate at that spot.
You have to have a mindset of short memory loss. You get beat. It happens. Everybody gets beat. Even Revis gets beat. You have to kind of lay that to memory and get on to the next play. Because I learned the tough way. I got beat. I think my second game, and I was so down on myself, and they kept attacking me, and I just kept getting beat. And then I realized, okay, you have to delete out your head, and you got to keep playing, or the others are going to keep attacking. So just being on the island, you just got to have a short memory. You have to have the mindset of you have no help over the top. It's just you and him, just like a one-on-one in practice. So you have to be mentally tough.
So having that mindset, you were someone that you chose to go from safety to corner. You chose from the quote-unquote comfort zone of 3 years at safety to convert to corner. What was behind that decision to do that? And looking back on it, are you glad you made that decision?
The initial decision was to help the team because they were low, and the depth was pretty low at corner. And with the class they had coming in, they had a good amount of safeties. So I was all for it, and I knew corner was the toughest position on the field. I like to take on challenges, and I want to see myself succeed in it. But I'm glad I made the switch because back then, I didn't realize versatility was a huge thing, maybe to go in the NFL with. And I know my coaches kept saying it, but it was kind of going one ear and out the other. Okay, I'm just doing this trying to help the team. I'm trying to win, and then it all played out at the end.
I like that, and I tell you what was funny. I read different things on you before the combine, and it was funny because a lot of these so-called experts, they say, "Oh well, Eric Rowe is a big guy. He's slow. He doesn't have lateral movement and this and that in tight spaces." Well, I don't know about you, Eric, but 3.97 in the short shuttle, that shows me that you are able to move laterally. 4.45 in the 40 shows me that you can run fast, straight line. Did you specifically have that in mind, just to prove these people wrong when you were going to the combine, or were you just going there just to do your thing and just let your results speak for themselves?
Yeah, I was more going in there just trying to beat my own personal records. I knew it. I don't know where the rumor came from of being slow and not having quickness. Even the coaches that you talk to, they don't know where it came from because they know my speed and quickness. And I guess after putting up the combine, I was kind of proved wrong. But I was going in there just trying to do my best, beat my personal records that I had training in.
19 reps on the bench, a 39-inch vertical. Oh, and by the way, 10 feet, 4-inch long jump. All numbers that really stood out. And I was glad that you put these numbers up because I have been pounding the table about you as a prospect. And, a lot of attention went to some other guys. And even after the combine, a lot of people, the Michigan State corner, they say, oh, he ran this and he did that. And I said, yeah, that's great. But quietly, a guy from Utah had a really good combine. So I wanted to shout you out on that because you did an excellent job there. And just as a safety, you know, one of the things that you have to do as safety is be able to get guys lined up. You have to be, quote unquote, the captain of the defense, the secondary. In high school, member of the National Honor Society. So you're not any type of dummy or anything like that. Can you talk about just the intelligence that it takes to be able to, you know, keep everything right on the back end at the safety position and in the secondary?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of film study and really just confidence that in the calls you're making. You can't, you know, guys aren't going to trust your call if you're second guessing yourself or hesitating. So a lot of it is with confidence, but along with that, you have to be smart with the scheme, whatever scheme you're in, and know how when to make audible calls and adjust people. I mean, there was a lot of times I had to do that my 3 years at safety. And after a while, you get used to it, and it just comes second nature.
So let's circle back to high school. You were a guy, you were, you know, all state as a DB. You also had a career, not a career, but you had you know, your all district in basketball. Coming out of high school, what was it that made you, like, how did you end up at Utah? We're talking about on the other side of the country. Talk about just that journey to get there. I mean, what was it that made you go all the way out there?
I mean, I just took the normal visit, you know, talk to the coaches, and I already narrowed down schools that was good and had a good, you know, good team going, and also a good academic program. So when I narrowed it down and I made my visits, you know, it's just like the gut feeling you get, like the connection you make with the team, the players already there, and the coaches. And I feel like I had the most with Utah over the other schools I went to visit. Like I lived at A&M and TCU and Louisville, and I felt like I connected the most with Utah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't knock you for that. You got to go with your gut instinct. So that definitely was a good decision. Here you are about to get into the NFL. Pro Day, actually a week from today, correct?
Yes.
All right. So what are you looking to do at the Pro Day? Are you going to sit on these excellent numbers that you had at the Combine and just do drills, or what can we expect from Eric Rowe at Pro Day?
Just the drills.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave the numbers where they stand. Gotcha.
All right, well, definitely look forward to seeing the results there. Last question, just real quick. 3 games. You know, I always ask my guys when I talk to you, you know, give me 3 games that really show you as a player. I'm going to give you the one that I really liked, and that was the USC game, because I think that showed the value of versatility that you bring. You know, first half, you played a lot of safety. Second half, you played some corner. What 3 games would you say stand out most over your career?
The Stanford game, the Michigan game, and either Washington State or Colorado. I think they're about the same.
Okay. Yeah, the Michigan one, the Devin Funchess matchup. You had said at the Combine that you were going to be man with him for most of the game. You still got some matchups, so that definitely was a good game. I made sure I went back and watched that a few more times before we spoke. I like some of the pass breakups you have there. So I appreciate you coming on, man. Definitely, man, I wish you the best at your Pro Day. I know you're going to go out there and do your thing. You've done it in college, and then you did it at Senior Bowl and Combine. So doing your thing at Pro Day won't be anything new. So I wish you the best, man. I would like to get back with you at some point before the draft. I definitely think you're a guy that will draw a lot of interest, and I wish you the best, man.
I appreciate it.
That wraps up this edition of Talking with TD. Be sure to check out all of my interview segments at footballgameplan.com/talkingwithtd. If you have any questions or people you want me to sit down with, hit me up on Twitter at @TDavenport_NFL.